Hello and welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. I'm Matt from Bowland Fitness, and I suppose my interest is in holistic movement and fitness.
Well, hello, it's Wellbeing Wednesday, and it's Wednesday, obviously.
Yeah.
So, what's the subject for today, Phil?
Today we're going to talk about movement,
Oh, okay, interesting.
natural movement.
But yeah, I always think it's very essential part of occupational therapy to get people moving and out. Obviously, my thing is nature.
Yeah.
But to get them out and moving is really key, and like a lot of occupational therapy will do that. But sometimes the main thing of occupational therapy is signposting and sort of knowing when to say, right, you need to go see this person to or you need to try this. Like yoga's always good, so you always try and recommend yoga or Pilates or Tai Chi or swimming. But I think the best thing is to, when you're in sort of a situation of struggling, is to go to somebody who knows what they're doing. So I believe you know someone.
Yes, I do, and he's also called Matt. He's a fan of barefoot, for example.
Fantastic.
He works with neurology, and I've worked with him instead of doing traditional physio because a physiotherapist just wants to look at my knee and the mechanics of it, whereas Matt's approach looks at whole body movements and working on balance and things like that, which is a bit of a challenge because I'm like, well, I have diagnosis of dyspraxia, so I'm clinically clumsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, with my kind of injuries on my left-hand side, my right, I'm ambidextrous, but predominantly left-handed or left-sided.
Yeah.
But my right side's stronger and has learned to compensate. So I get a lot of kind of issues in my left because I'm unbalanced. So seeing someone like Matt would be perfect.
Yeah, unbalanced is certainly one way that I'd describe you, Matt.
Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment.
So are you busy this afternoon?
No, I'm actually going camping. I'm going to a festival, but it's a sober festival, so it's going to be good. Lots of people dancing and fun without any alcohol or drugs, or just enjoying people's energy.
So lots of natural movement.
Lots of natural movement, yeah, and barefoot. That's one of my favourite things at the festival, to dance barefoot in the field. It's one of my favourite things to do.
Yeah.
All the time.
Right, so I'll go and see Matt on my own.
All right. Well, yeah. Let us know. Bring some movements back for me. I'm really interested in trying it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll send you over to Matt's.
The first language of humanity, you'll probably know this, was?
I'm going to go for movement.
For movement or dance.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you think about it, you track long enough back, even like pre-humanity, we even see dances in mating rituals of birds.
Yeah.
And it's there, it's a big part of how we communicate. It's a big part of how we communicate internally as well, and that's why the somatic movement makes sense. In fact, one of the NLP presuppositions is mind and body are one system. So I'll shut up now with that and let Matt talk about the same thing with a different set of language, but in more detail.
Well, it's funny you'd mentioned the dance thing, because if you put the thought in my head now, and a few years ago, there was a picture popped up of me dancing, and I was like, well, it's too good a picture not to use in my social media. So I was like, how can I put a twist on this? And there's the old saying of the human race that we're born to run, we're born to walk. So I put a twist on that and went, well, actually, what is one thing that's survived throughout the whole of humanity? And it is the dance. So therefore you could argue we're born to dance, and obviously dance can be done in many ways. And you talk to different movement professionals, they would put dancing as wrestling would be a form of dance, and any type of movement could be a form of dance that's expressing yourself. And I suppose how I look at it is that we've gone so far in one direction that we can't just lump ourselves back in natural movement. We've got to kind of find our way back to natural movement. So we've got to kind of do a bit of restoration.
Yeah.
So if we relate this to the knee injury, we've got to do some restoration around the movement that's being lost there. And then you can kind of go into this kind of creation mode where you're creating these pathways towards natural movement. Then an exploration phase, which is very much exploring the new things you can do. So having a bit of fun with it, a bit of enjoyment with it. No kind of, in the traditional sense of fitness, of failure and all these words that have nowadays negative connotations. It's just being free to explore and find out what you can do. Then finally we have expression, which will be going back to that dancing, which for whatever reason might be celebratory, it might be kind of a form of dance to respond to things. Different cultures will do dances to like the death of something.
Rain dance.
Rain dance, yeah, exactly.
Don't need to do that in Lancashire, do we?
No, well, I mean, there'll be people arguing right now that we might need to, but yeah, not so much usually. But yeah, all these forms of dance, that's an expression, so we can finally get to that bit. Like, you could argue that most things come down to a pattern and a beat and a rhythm within the body, connecting, that mind, body, soul, different connections. It comes down to an expression, which you could argue is a form of dance. So yeah, really, when you fail is when you struggle, when something's difficult. That's the best moment, because that's when the pathways are really lighting up everywhere.
Yeah, so you see a lot of stuff relating to like life coaching and things like that, where you have a comfort zone and then you have like outside your comfort zone, which is quite dangerous and unfamiliar, but there's a very small part of that that's close to your comfort zone that gets referred to as things like the growth zone, the learning zone, the development zone.
Flow state's another one, isn't it? You're in that flow state when you're there, and I think you've got to find that line, and it's the pushing it either side of it, that you always want to do something you're comfortable with and good at. It makes you feel good, it makes you feel comfortable, therefore your brain and your body is more accepting of the little pushes towards that line of complexity that challenges your body to get the growth and to find the new pathways. But if you just go all out crazy, so like say you use a very hard hitting tactic of fitness or recovery, you're just going to shock the system, and your brain just tells you to F off, really. That's when pain fires, or you stiffen up, or you get difficulty. But if you're too comfortable, you get bored, and you're not actually going to go and carry on doing it. So it's finding that line, that's that difference between, and it edges on to play then, where you're suddenly playing with things, and that's where you're edging out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, so play's really important in child development, but I think as well it's important that as adults, we still need to play. And I mean, I'm loosely talking, people assume that I'm an adult because of my age.
Yeah.
But it's not always a label that I like.
No, I had to explain to the kids yesterday that on Saturday that I am an adult. I am classed as an adult.
Yeah.
Even though I like to play, and
just that big hairy kid.
Yeah. The one that's like, why is he doing that? That's what kids should be doing. But there is there's a strong backing now of science that, again, because as adults we don't need to challenge ourselves in the way we would have done over our evolution, that we're missing out on mass aspects. So it's like, for some people it would be that contact, or that kind of working one-to-one, where it might not be contact, but you might be like kind of mirroring each other and kind of creating forms off each other.
Connection.
Really getting that. And play for me, and I think I've just come up with this kind of new dictionary definition myself, because I'm pretty sure if you looked up play, it wouldn't be this. Play is just social activity. So when you get together and you're socially active, you're playing, because you're getting that interaction. Playing doesn't have to be physical either. There's many ways to play, which goes back to the learning situation for children, that play is almost can be a mindset and a way of communicating, especially with children, to get different outcomes. So again, that they're not stressed or bothered about something. It's more creative, they're more developmental, and very much not to be confused with playing a sport, because they're two different things.
So, some of the work that you do and things that you like offer to your clients and do for your own well-being seem a little bit strange. For those of you that don't know Matt, he decided as a bit of a fundraiser it was a really good idea to do a 10k, which most people would assume a run, but Matt decided to crawl it.
Yeah.
And the question, the biggest question that anybody asks is just simply why.
Yeah, that is it's a strong question, and it's not the easiest answer. I suppose the easiest place to start off with, I like crawling. I really do like kind of getting around and crawling, and it's something I've done for a while. But in this sense, it was a bit of playing on the natural movement thing. I wanted to show some form of evolution over a distance. So my initial idea was to swim, crawl, run, which would be the natural evolution of
course.
If we're all agreeing and believing in that's the natural evolution, then that was what I was aiming for. Couldn't find a place to swim, so I thought an easier option might be to just crawl the whole 10k. I don't know why I thought that was an easier option. And the challenge in itself in that point was wanting to give myself as well something to focus on, but had this playful nature that would maybe be deemed as looking a bit ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, I would never tell somebody to crawl 10k. It's stupid. It really was a ridiculous idea to come up with. But I suppose one of my ideas was doing something that in a normal world, or our current norm, looks ridiculous, to which I would say actually done in small amounts should be perfectly acceptable to see. And it has its uses. And again, one would be sometimes you have to go under stuff.
Steep terrain.
Yes.
So obviously knowing Matt a little bit and kind of getting these nuances about things that he'll talk to me about. I was doing some work over at Harwes Farm, and the woodland at Harwes is really steep. And I haven't taken my shoes off today, but I tend to wander around the woodland barefoot over there a lot. And I was walking up this steep bank, and all of a sudden I found putting my hands out for a little bit of support, and then thought, well, I'm basically crawling. And crawling on a steep incline is like, it's almost a transition into the sort of movements that you'd use for rock climbing.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of almost simplified rock climbing structure. And I suppose if you were to climb up a sheer face like this, you wouldn't try and walk up it. So if you were like here, why walk up that when you could just lean forward slightly, get your hands on the floor, distribute your weight?
Yeah.
And you've got this beautiful cross patterning, which I suppose if we go back to the kind of, the mind-body connection, is this gait symmetry, which we've all evolved. Every child learns, most children learn to crawl before they learn to walk. Not every, most do. And that crawling is actually the learning of your gait pattern, which will then take to being upright and walking.
Yeah.
Good fun fact is human superpower is throwing overarm. Because although chimps are way stronger than us, and if they somehow manage to aim it directly at us with something thrown, it'd probably kill us. Their aim is shocking.
Yeah.
So if they hit you with the poo, it's just by chance.
Yeah.
Whereas we're actually really good at being strong and having a good hit aim, and not many other animals can do that.
Yeah.
Other than that, all other animals are better than us at everything. This is the thing with movement, it can go off on about 100 million tangents because we've been around for so long now that depending on whether you're a boy or a girl, you've been told over the last 100, 200 years.
Yeah.
Boys are told to throw things, girls are told to not throw things, which is ludicrous because we're all designed to throw things. So actually reintroducing throwing mechanisms to people, especially to women, can actually be really talking about going all the way back to the start and somatic movement.
Yeah.
Can release a lot of emotion. Now it might.
If you want to know lots more about natural movement, and if you want to use that body-mind connection in terms of like fitness and recovery and preventing injury as well, and or like the way you train for something, then you can use the link to Bowland Fitness that Matt's going to put in the comments of this video.
Yes.
And book sessions and all that kind of thing. But for those of you that don't have the resources to private book a PT, I mean, you're not much more than a PT in my opinion, but for those people, can we have some little tips, things you can do at home?
So yeah, getting into movements, or whether it be in the house or kind of out in nature, what we're looking at is anything that creates this kind of gait motion. So as the right hand moves, the left leg moves, things like this. So it can be just marching on the spot, but really getting the arms swinging as well. We can use steps, up and down steps. So again, just taking those steps. So it can be walking in this manner. If you've got anything like light weights, it might be 2 rocks, it might be some sticks, and swinging those. The other end of that will be the throwing motions, so kind of this over the top motion, so we can call here into this motion. So it might just be you're not even throwing anything, you're just doing this motion here. And again, throw a bit of a trick into it, left-sided. If you're not left-sided, it makes it far worse, but you start to get this movement going, fires up a beautiful load of synapses in your head. From there, we've got kind of a sequence might be to walk a few steps, run a few steps. I'm just going to do that on the spot, and then into crawl a few steps. So hands and feet, like so, and it's just little steps. So you keep that weight over your body, so your hands don't take too much and your legs don't take too much. And the final one will be jumps. Now you can jump or leap in many different ways. It can be one foot to the other foot, it can be hopping, but what we're looking for is that from this position into this position, so we can jump forwards, backwards, sideways. If you cannot jump for whatever reason, and there's a lot, then just getting used to that mechanism of arms back, swinging through, and just coming up to an extension. Right, so just a way to get the body moving that starts to build up the strength in all those areas that we want to, but you've also got this complete sequence that goes from the feet to the hands. If you want to explore more, there's other aspects of this, so we can take it into different territory. I mean, this one's beautiful because it's got so much different kind of things on the floor. So you've got that kind of footwork, getting barefoot on it. Again, the senses straight up the feet into the body. Brain pays more attention to it. And then moving around and finding stuff. So it might just be as simple as finding a tree. Now, I'm not going to think that you just started this and you can climb a tree, because looking at this tree, I can't climb this tree. It's a hard one to climb. But just getting on the roots and working your way around the roots. So you've got a bit of a hand on, kind of exploring how that works. Might be kind of just working around it. And just getting used to feeling things out in nature and interacting with nature itself. I suppose they'd be my top tips to starting some outdoor movement. If you've got a friend who wants to join, it makes it easier because there's 2 of you. If not, it might be just finding somewhere a little bit secluded at first, just so you're out of that way. It makes it feel more comfortable. Or if you're free to just kind of go for it, just go for it, have fun, really explore those ideas. So yeah, always happy to do more, whether it branches off into the more physical or the more discussive. And I'm always open to chat to people who just want to ask me questions. I'm not one of these people who's going to make you come to a session to find out more. Ask me, and then you can know straight away.
Yeah. So please like the video, share it, talk to people about it, comment on it, just engage with it however you can. And the more questions that are asked, the more answers that we'll be able to give you.
Yeah, and the more people that get involved and the more friends you can interact with out and about. Right, yeah, so I think that's about it.